And as we continue on now through our railroad junction, we're about to pass the historic Smiths Creek Depot. Originally built in 1858 in Smiths Creek, Michigan. That's about 8.5 miles southwest of Port Huron. Where as a boy, Thomas Edison worked for the Grand Trunk Railroad, selling treats and newspapers along the way from Port Huron to Detroit and back again. Coming up on your left is the newest addition to Greenfield Village. That's our vegetable building from the Detroit Central Market. Built in Detroit in 1860. We'll use it as a farmer's market and special events like today throughout the season. And that brings us to the heart of our Railroad Junction District. Just up ahead is our Detroit, Toledo, and Milwaukee Roundhouse, where we repair and maintain our 3 coal-fired steam locomotives. Originally built in 1884 in Marshall, Michigan, it was recreated here at Greenfield Village in the year 2000, using elements from the original building. And we have our number 7 locomotive getting ready for tomorrow. And on the other side of the roundhouse is our Liberty Craftworks district, where artisans and craftsmen create beautiful objects in glass and pottery, tin and weaving. There's a print shop, a carding shop, and we're now entering our Working Farms district, and just beyond the Red Cider Mill is the Firestone Farm, the birthplace of Harvey Firestone, Henry Ford's great friend, and the founder of the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company of Akron, Ohio. Firestone Farm is a real operating farm. A farmhouse built in 1828 in County, Ohio. And you'll notice our herd of merino sheep over on the right. People often ask me how many sheep are in that herd, and I gotta tell you, I don't really know. Every time I try to count them, I fall asleep. Aw, come on, it wasn't that bad. Well, the good news is we're headed to our next stop of the day. That's Firestone Station at the front gate. From here, you have full access to Working Farms, Main Street, Liberty Craftworks, and Henry's Model T. So if you're leaving us here, please stay seated until the train comes to a complete stop. The engineer will give a blast of the whistle, aiding the air brake set, and then I'll give you the go-ahead to exit on the right side only. Wait for the whistle, everybody. Now, if you got one of those colorful maps from the ticket office, you'll find Firestone Station at the bottom left. And we'll be moving in a counterclockwise direction as we head around the village this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. Our first district is Henry's Model T, and right in the middle of Henry's Model T, just ahead, it's the birthplace of Henry Ford. On your left is the Ford Farm, built here in Dearborn, Michigan in 1861. Not too far from here was now the corner of Ford Road and Greenfield Road. Henry Ford was born in that little farmhouse in July of 1863 and lived there with his parents and 5 brothers and sisters. All the way to your left, the red building is the William Ford Barn. It's where we take care of all the horses we use every day here at Greenfield Village. And up next, it's our Main Street district. Here you'll find the Wright Brothers Home and the Wright Cycle Shop, the birthplace of aviation. Across the street, find out about the 57 varieties at the Heinz Home, where they first modeled horseradish. And be sure to take a spin on our 1913 Herschel Spillman Carousel. We're now entering our Edison at Work district, and just beyond the picket fence is Thomas Edison's Menlo Park complex, where Edison and his staff of scientists and engineers developed the very first practical incandescent light bulb. The Menlo Park complex is America's first research and development lab, responsible for such innovations as the microphone, the phonograph, and over 800 other patents. On your left, the mustard yellow building is the Sarah Jordan boarding house, where Edison staff used to live. It's the first construction in the U.S. electric light. And we're now approaching the gateway to our Porches and Parlors district. That's the Acme Covered Bridge from 1832 in western Pennsylvania. Just beyond the bridge is our next stop of the day, and that's Susquehanna Station. From here you have full access to the entire Porches and Parlors district, including the McGuffey School, the Hermitage Headquarters, the Noel Webster House, and the Robert Frost Home, just to name a few. So if you're leaving us here, please stay seated until the train comes to a complete stop. The engineer will give a blast of the whistle, which means the air brake's set, and then I'll give you the go-ahead to exit on the left side only. Don't forget that wristband or ticket is good for the rest of the night here at Greenfield Village. Wait for the whistle, everybody. Wait for the whistle, folks. And as we continue on now through the Porches and Parlors district, we're now passing the historic Susquehanna Plantation, built in 1825 in St. Mary's County, Maryland. It was owned by Henry and Elizabeth Carroll, a prosperous family, who held lavish parties in that plantation house. Compare that to the small red house next door. That's the Thomas Plimpton home. Thomas was an indentured servant, and he lived in that small one-room house with his wife and 7 children. And at the end of the road, on the other side of our Ferris windmill, is the Daggett Farm, a living history farm from 1754 in Andover, Connecticut. Passing our new horse paddock down here at Hawthorne Glade. When our horses need a day off, this is where we bring them. Now the locomotive at the head of our train tonight is the Thomas A. Edison. It's a coal-fired steam engine that was basically cobbled together back in 1932 at the Ford Rouge plant from an old 1868 Manchester once owned by Thomas Edison. The thing is, Henry didn't want a Manchester engine, he wanted a Mason. So he redesigned it, to sort of, kind of look like a Mason. And the result is the Franken engine we have today, the Thomas A. Edison, weighing in at 25 tons. So now, folks, let's take a few moments to sit back and relax and enjoy the sights and sounds of railroading as it was in the late 1800s and early 1900s. On your left is the Henry Ford Academy. Henry Ford Academy is a charter school here in Wake County. Students attend for free but are chosen by lottery. This portion of the campus houses the 10th, 11th, and 12th grades, 9th graders in same class, and the Henry Ford Museum. Just ahead, 3 attached rail cars that serve as classrooms for the senior class. Imagine that, going to class in a rail car. Don't forget, in October is Halloween at Greenfield Village. On selected evenings, the village will be open for ghouls and ghosts and goblins and great scary fun for trick-or-treaters of all ages. And the Halloween Express continues to run all Halloween long. It all happens in October. Halloween at Greenfield Village.
There's a restaurant right there.
And we're now now headed into our next stop of the night, and that's Smith's Creek Station. From here, you have full access to Railroad Junction, Main Street, and Liberty Craft Works. If you're leaving us here, please stay seated till the train comes to a complete stop. The engineer will give a blast of the whistle, meaning the air brake is set, and then you go ahead to exit on the left side. Don't forget that wristband or ticket gets you on and off the train all night long here at the village. Don't forget, wait for the whistle, everybody.